Thank you, Stuart, so very, very much. Good afternoon, all. But one of the biggest takeaways that I see is this, and that is that the American people want change. They want real change. The American people are fully aware that government as we know it is not working well, and they want to shake things up in the system that we have here in Washington. There are many reasons why, and no one person and no one party is responsible for the good or the bad or the ugly that we see coming out of Washington. Let me submit, however, that a large portion of the gridlock that we see here in Congress between the legislative and the executive branches comes squarely from a broken budget process. The work is not getting done. It's not getting done on time, and certainly not in anything approaching an orderly or efficient or accountable manner. And which ones ought to be transitioned over to the discretionary side of the ledger. Congress would then have... The government has been fully funded only once in the past 20 years on time. To keep funding the government in 18 of the past 20 years, we've relied upon year-long continuing resolutions, basically a stopgap measure, or Congress has adopted and the President has signed omnibus bills. This is when Washington throws all of government spending into a giant package that is, by design, incredibly dense, challenging to comprehend in any expedient manner, and generally devoid of the level of transparency that the American people desire or expect. In short, no way to run a government, up or down, for or against the Commission's recommendations. In each of these, over the course of many years and many Congresses, through both Republican and Democratic leadership, the legislative branch has ceded too much of its budgetary authority to the executive branch. We've given the President and their regime of regulators too much power, which has weakened the representative framework of our democracy. This has got to stop. First and foremost, when it comes to the budget of the United States, Congress should go first with its proposal. Under the budget process reforms that we envision, lawmakers will continue to consider a congressional budget resolution with information gained from a current services account estimate from the executive branch prior to the President submitting his or her request. Congress, the people's representatives, would have a say in the treatment of our automatic spending programs. I believe that there will be somebody, if I'm given the privilege of moving to a different position, that there will be somebody or buddies in the House of Representatives who will pick up the mantle. This is so important. This is so incredibly important. The House Republican Conference has embraced the idea of budget process reform. And so I have all the confidence in the world that what will happen moving forward is that hopefully this will begin that serious discussion so that within the next 2 years we'll be able to have a piece of legislation that we can move through the Congress of the United States.
If you would please be seated, remain seated for a moment.